Because it's tough out here. It's tough. That's, you can at least try that. Just pray for your CV. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Admira Mushu, and today I've got a sit down video for you guys because why not? But without any further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, what is this girl gonna talk about today? Today we're gonna talk about my experience with job applications. So kind of like a story time, but not really, because I'm not like gonna tell. Okay, it's a story time. Maybe we can say it's a story time slash advice slash insight on what you can do with your journey of, you know, applications, because it's tough out here. It's tough. So yes, we are going to talk about the job market, applications, my personal experience and what worked for me, and maybe it can work for you, but we do know we live in a world that has no exact formula on how to go about things. The best you can do is take bits and pieces and then just hope that it works out. Or if you're a believer, you know Jesus ain't never gonna do that to you, you know. So you can also just hold on to that God will ultimately put you in the right place, that he will do right by you, and I think he will. Like, why not? Really, why not? So I'll just tell a story about my journey. So for me, in first year and second year, right, I wanted to like blow up on YouTube. Like, I wasn't like career driven. Like, I wasn't like, yo, I want this. I just wanted to blow up on YouTube, become an influencer, and become a creative, because I do have that element. So I was like, no, I'm just here for vibes. But also with me, in everything that I do from high school, I always gave it my best. So even in high school, I wasn't really that career driven. I just did really well in economics. I think I got distinctions every term. So I was like, oh, this subject, let's see what we're gonna do in uni with it. So that's what I did. I studied economics and econometrics solely because of that. Get to uni, I'm still a high achiever, in a sense that everything that's on my plate, I want to do well. Like, even if, like, you know, I don't really like it like that, but I want to do well. So I kept the same energy, worked really hard. And then in third year, people were applying for stuff. But for me, even before before going into my first year, my spiritual father from back home, he was like, you should do your honors, you should do school until honors. So for me, I was like, oh no, I still have a year of school next year, so I'm not really applying like that. But I had a CV, applying for stuff like tutoring and stuff like that. Yeah, I used my CV for that at that time. And then we moved over to honors year. Honors year now, you're seeing honors, I didn't have funding. I had to just depend on my parents. And I was just like, damn, bro, like, life is getting serious. And then some people were already going to the marketplace. So now you can see that, okay, girl. And my YouTube, like, it's growing, but not in the... It's not growing exponentially to the point where I can fully depend on it or become, like, an influencer and, like, fully, like, have a thriving life on it, right? So I was like, okay, okay. And I was friends with people that were very career driven. They would send me applications and all of that, and then I caught on to that. I was like, okay, I must just do the same, because if I'm gonna sit and do nothing, then what, you know? So now we're done with the backstory. So now let's tap into the actual job application thing. So I remember in Feb, my friend and I, she has this website where she did her CV. So she had a subscription, and I think friendships that inspire you to do better are really beautiful, because she then allowed me to do my CV based on her subscription. I think she's unsubscribed now. It's called Live UK, I think. You can log in there, input like your details, and then it will generate a template looking thing. Of course, you choose like the color and like the type of template you want, but ultimately that's what I use to create my CV. And for me, my CV has my picture, because I mean, with CVs, dude, like, you get so many different advisors. You need to just pray about it, trust your gut, present that CV to God and be like, this is the CV, and do what you want with it. Honestly, let your will be done. Because this thing of like, change your application to fit the keywords of that application, no pictures, ATS system, I don't know, like, I honestly, for me, I was just like, honest is really, really demanding. You don't have the time for every week changing up your CV. You don't, unless you have all the time in the world. But I didn't have time. Like, honest was really showing me flames. Okay, so now I was like, you know what, this is my CV. This is how my CV looks, guys. It has my picture. I think on the top it's one page. It has my picture. It has my, I think, an objective that just describes the type of person I am, and then it has my experiences. So that would be my tutoring experience, and also something else. I was an ambassador at Kingsway Place, if you can remember. I put that in, and my tutoring experiences. So I tutored business management 1A and B, and then I tutored econometrics 2B, and quants A and B. Yes. So I put that there, and then I put my honors. So I also included the modules that I did, so they can see where my expertise is within. So I put that I did economics, I did microeconomics, macro, I did financial economics, I have my modules placed there, and then I have my undergrad. I don't know if I had my undergrad modules placed there, because that's like 3 years of modules and stuff like that. But I did put that, one thing about me. Do you guys remember? Do you guys remember that I am a cum laude graduate? Yeah, I got my undergrad with distinction, if you didn't know, yeah. Kind of like a genius, but I'm joking, guys. I'm not really a genius. I just work hard. Like, someone is so impressed with like my life and my resume, and I'm just like, girl, just work hard. That's the formula. Like, yeah. So I put my undergrad, but I don't know if I have my my modules there. And then I also serve at church, so I put that there, that it's I think it's volunteering. I put it as volunteering, and then I put my skills, and then I put my details where they can contact me, and that's my CV, guys. And also add the Holy Ghost fire in there, add the grace, favor, shakapa. Yeah, that CV is prayed for. This is not just a paper. When you are a child of God, you must say, I'm submitting this with the cross. I'm submitting this with Christ Jesus. It's not even just the PDF. Yeah. So for me, that's my CV. It's normal, but spiritually, you understand? That's what you must do if we are called as well. That's, you can at least try that. Just pray for your CV. Now we can move on to the actual process. So in terms of applications, I think I sent my first ever job application in April. So now, with you as well, if you are in your final year, honors year, whatever year, and you're watching this now and you haven't started applying, my baby, yeah, it's peak recruitment season. You should be applying even more forcefully now. But for me, I started applying last year, April. So April 2024, I think I remember I sent my first job application. And with job applications, you will experience sending your job application, your application. You will experience being rejected without any progress. Like, you send the application, they reject you the next day. Or you send your application, you get through to the psychometric test, and then you get a rejection. Or you send your application, get through psychometrics, then you get to video interviews, like not with an actual recruiter, but like they'll say, I don't know, it's a system where you open it there, and then there's a question there, and then you have like 50 seconds to answer that question, or 1 minute, or whatever, then you record yourself. Like, it's a system in place, like you open that link, and then on that link, when you click, there'll be a question like, okay, how do you handle conflict in the workplace? Then you have 50 seconds to answer, and then that video automatically gets sent to the recruiter. So even after that, you can get rejected, or you can get through. And then you can get through to panel interviews. With me, when I was in a panel interview where I didn't actually do well. So you can get to a panel interview and still get chopped. So that's how rejections work. Either you send in your application, you don't even get anywhere, matating, rejection, or you get somewhere in the middle, you get chopped, or you get to the final stages, you get chopped in the final stages, or finally you get the offer, So with me, in April, send my applications, I think my rejections went like this. Either I send the application, doesn't go anywhere, or I send the application, go through to psychometric. And I think my first application, psychometric, I didn't take it seriously, honestly. Like, I was just like coming back from my research class, I was like, oh my gosh. And you have like 3 days or 2 days to submit those things. They'll send it to you like maybe on Monday, say by Wednesday you need to have submitted the psychometrics, or you need to have submitted the videos that they want. So I didn't really take it seriously, and I'm so sad. And it was for a bank. It was for a bank, like they rejected me. And also some applications use, I forgot what this thing is. I really forgot what it is. Leaply, yes, Leaply. You don't even get like a rejection email. Just log back in one day, and then you just see that you didn't go through. So some of the banks use the Leaply platform, or other applications. Some of the banks use them to do applications. So that was my first experience of a rejection. I was really, really sad because I really did want it, but also needed to take accountability that I wasn't really that serious. But also, it's like part of the process from my first ever. So moving forward, there was other stuff as well. I had psychometrics that were really bad, guys. I did so bad in this one other psychometric. I think it was for a consultant position. It kicked me. And so with applications, you need to think of stats. The more you do it, the better your chances. If we have Admire A, Admire B, Admire A sent 10 applications, Admire A sent 1 application, who has the better chances of a job? Like, you have 10 that could work out, you have 1. So the more applications you send, the better your chances. So don't sit there and think, like, you're getting distinctions, the companies are going to look for. They don't know you. So you need to put yourself out there. It's very hard to break into corporate, but once you're inside, you can then. But when you're outside the system, who's gonna know that? Like, we have Admire who has a cum laude. How are they gonna know? You need to put yourself out there. So you need to be disciplined in terms of knowing the website. Don't only depend on LinkedIn as well. Use everything available for applications, because the job I have now, I got it from UJ Career Services. They sent an email. So subscribe to UJ Career Services if you are a UJ student, because that's where I got the application. It was an email, and then I saw the description. I'm like, yeah, what? This is the job. But also at the time, it was like somewhere in September, so we'll get there. So when sending applications, I never changed my CV like every time and again. I just made sure in a week, this is what a system that you can put in place. In a week, look at all the applications available, look at the closing dates, and then maybe say after on Friday or in the weekend, save all those applications on Monday, and then in the weekend apply to all of them, and make sure your motivation letter is ready, because they ask for those things. Just be ready. Like, don't be lazy when it comes to job applications, because if you're lazy to apply, who's gonna know that you want a job? And you have to build a thick skin. You really have to build a thick skin, because those rejections, my baby, but it's part of the process. Like, it's really part of the process. But you need to start early. Start in April. If there's a job, start early. Don't start in December when you want a job in Jan. Sisiba valile, ma company valile. You understand? So start early, apply. I started applying in April last year, and I had a system in place where I'll save applications, apply maybe after every 2 weeks or 1 week, or whenever I remember to, or whenever I see that the closing date for this application is, getting closer. So that's what I did. And then April, fine, rejections. May, rejections. And then in June, I had a lot of psychometrics and a lot of video interviews. And I got rejected, like all of them. I remember this one psychometrics, it was so hard. They were even asking like accounting questions and I didn't know. Like I just like, and it was like very strict in terms of like there was an invigilator. It was like a test basically. I did so bad, guys. I was so sad. I remember I was like, am I even gonna get a job? Because now we're halfway through 2024 and nothing is going on. Like I had so many psychometrics in June, like so many. I remember like for the first week of my holiday I was doing psychometrics interviews. Oh no. I had one where I had to do an elevator pitch. As a person who's looking for a job, you need to have a serious elevator pitch. Why am I saying pitch? Elevator pitch being your intro. Like how do you want to introduce yourself? Do you want to say, hi, my name is Admire and I am a 2-time graduate from UJ? Or do you want to say, hi, my name is Admire and I have a cum laude? Like you need to have an elevator pitch of how you introduce yourself and how you want the recruiter to perceive you. You need to be confident. This is also another fact. You need to intimidate them with your confidence. Because I remember in my first few applications, guys, I remember I had my first panel interview. It was somewhere around June as well. It was so bad, guys. I couldn't answer some of the questions. And also, you need to be prepared. For that interview, I wasn't prepared. Like, I didn't read the job description that much. Like, I was just like, oh man, I'll just wing it. You can't wing it. Prepare. Read about the company. Read about their vision, their mission, their statements. Because I was in interviews where they asked those things and I could answer. Read up on them. Read up on who's going to interview you. Read up on the company. Read up on the role. Find ways you can align yourself to the role. This is for when you have an interview in place. So just make sure that, but these things you learn as you go, because I started applying early. So with every rejection, with every L that I took that L and made myself better. So after that terrible panel interview, I told myself, that ain't never happening again. I took the L's from that, lessons from that. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't able to answer some of the questions. I wasn't confident. And also I did that interview like in my room, in my restroom. You can do that, but UJ has services where they provide you with interview rooms so that you have a very professional background. So that also matters. Make sure that you find, when you have virtual interviews or online interviews, you find a background that speaks greatly for you, and also dress up well. I remember that was just really bad from my side, and that was a lesson that I had to learn when they just keep quiet. Because some applications actually they don't like respond officially with like rejections, but they will just keep quiet and tell you like, if you don't hear from us in the next 3 days, just know it's chai, baby. And they didn't come back to me, and you know what, I get it, because I was not at my best, and fine. Now we're going into July, coming back from school. People are talking about recruitment things, and there was this day, some people were talking about a recruitment process that I'm not involved in. Like, for example, you send your application, like there's different recruitment stages, right? They're talking about the second stage, and obviously now I didn't get that email. This must be happening. So that means we'll see chopped, rejected. Guys, I was so sad, because that was like the one job I wanted. I think every girl, every person who's doing my degree, we all want that bank and that role in that bank. So it was so sad, like getting rejected, because I really put my effort into that. I prayed about it, guys. I even had like stickers of that bank on my notice board. That was the most painful part of my job seeking journey. Like the one role that I wanted got rejected. I was really sad. I was like, and the rejection hadn't even come, but because I didn't make it through to the next stages, I just knew that the rejection letter is on its way. They're cooking it. So then that was around August when I officially got the rejection for thingy, and I kept on applying. And then when I got the rejection, I was really sad. And at this point, this is what I learned, and I think you should also learn that job the job market is not going to be the same for everyone. So don't look at me and think you want the role I'm in, you want the graduate program I'm in, because that's not how life works. You can aspire, but to me, yeah, life is just, you need to let God do his thing. Because for me, I'm grateful. I love my graduate program 10 out of 10. Baby, I love it here. You understand? So now, my advice to you with that is that I know we all aspire to be in that one company, in that one role and whatever, but I need you to detach yourself from that. And when you apply, right, obviously where your qualification is required, just put in that CV. Don't ever think you're too good for an application. Send it through. Like, I mean, obviously now you want to send to you. I mean, for me, sometimes there were some applications when I look at the description, I was like, God, no, I have to break generational curses. This job is not the one. I'm skipping it. You know, so you have to have a balance of, like, you know, but when you send applications, make sure you send to as many things as possible. There is so many careers available out there. Don't limit yourself to like one role that you want and just apply to that one, because I have friends that I know that like were stuck on like one role and they didn't apply to other stuff, and that role they wanted didn't work out, and now it's like, what do you do? Because I say cool. So you need to put your CV out there. And in August, that was my realization. I cried for a bit, but then I was like, girl, if you carry on crying, who's gonna break the generational curses? Who's gonna find your lifestyle? Because what time is the end of girl? So then after a few weeks of being sad, in September, I remember, started again. Saved up the applications in a week and applied. And now Pella, the year's ending. And now the degree is coming to an end. Kelly, I don't want to be at home. I don't want to move back to Springs. Okay, yeah, no, I don't want to move back to the east or stay in the east because of circumstances. I want a job and I want to be in Joburg because this is where the jobs are. So now I remember I saw this application, as I explained to you guys, the one that I'm currently in. UJ Career Services sent the template via email, and I was like, okay, let's see what you got. And now at this point, I'm over all the rejections. I'm very positive. I'm like ready to go. So I send the application, and then one day on a Sunday, I get a call, and then I call back that number. I was at church, so I called back after church. I'm like, hi, got the missed call from this number. What's going on? And he's like, oh no, I'm a recruiter on a Sunday. You're calling me on a Sunday? You must want me. Hey, Jesus. I was like, no, mabang fonela on a Sunday. Oh, I'm lumsebenzi lona. And you're phoning Sundays. In fact, Monday to Friday, when you Sunday. I was like, oh great, no, we can set up a session for Friday. So this is how the recruitment process for my job went. For the job that I currently have, is I had an introduction session with the recruiter. They just wanted to get to know me outside of my CV, in person, interact with me. And then there was I think 2 rounds of psychometric tests, and I just kept on progressing. It was so nerve-wracking, guys. Psychometric tests are just scary, because after the psychometrics, for the whole year, Mina, psychometrics, after psychometrics, rejection. After you answer those questions, they cut. And then now, this recruitment process also had a psychometric where it's with someone, like someone is in there with you, and they give you like a task, and then you must mix and match things, and the person is there too, and they give you a certain time, and they tell you like, now Gusi, how do you do? Did you get this right? Did you like? It was a very different psychometric process. I don't know if you guys will experience this or thing, but just know there's psychometric tests where you do it with a consultant, and there were 3 stages. The first stage, it was something to do with cards and matching and whatever. I was so nervous because I didn't get the first thing right, and I think I got the second and third things right, and then she gave me like then they give you like a psychological analysis of the type of person you are and the type of person you are in the workplace. So for me, she said, because at first I was very confused and I was scared to ask questions. Then she said, you do really well when you're given a task clearly explained and whatever. And I don't remember what she said, but she explained something like that I thrive in an environment where the instructions are clear, and I will do your thing, which is, she's right. Give me the template, I will show you nicely, because I've realized in environments where I've had like work tasks where it wasn't really clearly explained and I did really bad. I didn't do really well. So I think she hit the nail. What's the saying? Yeah, she was right. She was right. So I lost my trail of thought. So now video's getting too long, so I'm gonna try and wrap it up. We're in September now, right? So now in September my confidence is up because I've had so many rejections and I've had experiences with psychometrics. I've had experiences with being interviewed. I've learned from my mistakes in terms of how you present yourself in an interview. I was also utilizing the UJ Career Services platform where you can go there and ask for a room to have a virtual interview. Please utilize it if you can. I've also learned how you answer questions. There's something called the STAR format. I think it's STAR. I'm not sure on how, if they ask you questions like how would you handle a hard task, something like that, or if they ask you like situation questions, they're trying to gauge the type of person you are in terms of how would you cope if this and this and this, so how you answer them. So my confidence was up, so I think that's another tip. Be confident, and that can only come if you've been through the mud and you get yourself outside the mud. Yeah, so then I got, in that time, my trail of thought is gone again. Okay, so then in September I was proceeding to the other stages of the recruitment processes. I kept on. So in that time, I think with 3 companies I was progressing to interview stages. So some interviewers are very strict, like strictly business, and then some are very light, and you need to know how to maneuver these types of different personalities. You need to show up. If Munda serious now, when she then if you get a lighter, chilled recruiter like who's like, what's your name? What do you do? What do you like? Some interviewers are like that. It's like the one from the job I currently have. He was very chilled. Like he was even telling me about his child and all of that. Like, and then this other one, she was very strict, like strictly technical questions. Do you know about investments? Because for 2 jobs, I think I was destined to be in this investment industry, because 2 jobs where I got offers, it was within this investment industry, and then the other one was basically in audit, IT audit, whatever. I don't know how I got to the final stages, but it speaks to the fact that at that time I was already like, I knew what to say. I knew how to impress the recruiter. So that comes with time. I've been applying since April, and my first progression came in September. So do you see that this thing is not for chance takers? I was praying all along from April, praying, but September, and also September, October, November, December, peak recruitment season. But sometimes, for example, there was a response I got in October, but I sent the application in May. And if you had missed the May application, they weren't gonna thing it. So you need to apply as early as possible, because some of the job applications, they close in May, but they'll get back to you in September, which is the peak recruitment season. Because I remember for another company, I sent the application in August, and they responded to me like for an interview in December. But at that time I had already gotten my offer, so I was signed, so I was like, no, I can't really proceed. So you need to start early, so when the peak recruitment season, September, October, November, December comes, you are equipped with all the knowledge, all the rejections you've had. Your character is thick now. You are ready to show them who you are. You understand? Because I remember I had interviews with different types of recruiters, so you need to be able to maneuver that really well. And then yeah, guys, that's my story time of how I got my job. I don't know what else to say now. So yeah, September I got a call from that recruiter, and then the whole of October, for the 4 weeks actually, every week I kept on progressing to the stages. So this was very nerve-wracking, because I would maybe on Tuesday get a email that I've progressed to the next stage. Oh, then next week Tuesday we'll progress to the next stage. But if I send a Wednesday and I'm like, we're still in this. And I think I remember my last panel interview was on the 30th of October. Guys, I also, another tip, you must be presentable. Like ube clean boy. Ningapdeleli ungafiki manje ney'nwele ezihlangahlangene ne-outfit ayihlangananga. Guys, I remember there was a time I installed my hair during exam season because of that interview. I had like a Snoopy, but I was like, do I want them to see me as a Snoopy girl? No. Good morning, guys, my name is so I remember I installed my hair, my wig. Apparently wigs make you look dumb. I don't know, maybe clean again, will be clean though. But I put on my wig, got my job. So then I had a panel interview, and the week before that I had a panel interview with another company, and that taught me how to be in a panel interview, because different people ask you different questions, different personalities. So this one was even more people. So we have the HR person, we have the companies, the technical people, the investment professionals, and they were coming with different questions. And I don't know, but God must have done something. There was this one lady, she had very difficult questions. Oh my God. So difficulty. But I don't know how, but I was able to answer her questions and she was impressed. And I was like, yeah. That's me. But that only comes, and it was a technical question. It was something that we did in international economics in third year, and I was only able to answer because in third year I got distinctions for all my modules, so I knew my stuff. So that's also another factor. You must you must be holistic. Don't just be a great personality but you don't know what will happen to the interest rates when the rent goes, when the rent depreciates or something like that. I was trying to be smart, but like, you get me, like you must know. It was something related to what will happen if they decrease the interest rates, what will happen to the rand. Yeah, something like that. So you must know your technical, you must have a balance of both. So I was a balance of both, and then got my job offer, guys, and that's it for me. So I think holistically, you must also, you need to, this is very, very important. This recruiter told me that, you know what, we all have degrees, but what makes you stand out? So that's why you must have extracurricular activities in your CV. Don't just, because this guy said he rejected people for this job that I have now, people who had like cum laudes and whatever, but that's the only thing on their CV. School, yes, we want that, but what else can you offer us? What makes you the differentiating factor? To me, do stuff to show them that you are a holistic professional. Whatever you do, I don't promote lying, so try get involved into life, into the social aspect of life, so you can put it in there in your CV that I was volunteering, I was a tutor, I did this and this. That's what makes you different from the other applicant who just did school for 3 years. So you really, really need to invest into your extracurricular activities. If I knew this earlier, I would have been more active in my early years of varsity. But if you are still in varsity, make sure that you participate in stuff that don't pertain to school only, because everyone is going to have that degree, but recruiters always look for things that make you stand out. It's like, oh, maybe your hobby is hiking. Why do you hike? That's something. Do something with your life too. So yeah, that's my advice. I'm getting really cold because the sun is setting and it's getting late. So that's my story time of how I got my job, and I hope it inspires you to take your job application seriously. Start early, be confident, pray about it. Let God's will be done. Don't be fixated on a specific role, specific company. Just apply wherever you qualify. Faga sis, faga, and also build your confidence. And if you are not getting through to interview stages, then the problem is with your CV. You need to fix your CV. And when you get to interview stages and you're failing your interviews, then the problem is with your interview skills. You need to fix that. And then once you fix these, your CV is fine, your interview process is fine, surely an offer is coming. Because at the end of the year, I was getting rejected from April until October. That was my first ever offer. Guys, how many months is that? April, May, June, July, August, September, October. 7 months of applications, and my offer came in the 7th month. And after that, I got an offer in November. I got an offer in, oh, actually my offer came in November, on the 4th of November. I remember after my my last exam, I got a call from the recruitment lady, the recruitment guy, sorry. So 8 months of application, this is where my first offer came. And then also I think in December I got a few offers as well. So I ended up getting 3 offers, and I had to pick, and I had 3 to choose from after 8 months of applying. So you need to, don't start late and think someone is gonna, they don't care. You need to, you know, yeah guys, that's my story. Start early, pray about it, be confident, put effort into it, do stuff. If you're still like first year, second year, third year, start being active in things that can make your CV look different. If you are, I don't know, but yeah guys, that's what happened with me. So without any further more yapping,